How's it going today? Welcome to my show. Put on bands doing live shows and I talk about them. Today I'm going to talk about Demented Are Go. They're from South Wales. This band began haphazard, and the number of present and past members and the high turnover would bear this out. Mark Phillips, also known as Sparky, has been the constant. I believe that's him doing the singing. They were met with a good reception at their first gig alongside anarchy bands at the Sea Lion in Pengarth. Two of their songs were included on the 1984 compilation Hell's Bent on Rockin' from Nervous Records, the psychobilly scene's main label. Now this is called psychobilly, like rockabilly with psychedelics added in. I guess that's what you're talking about here. The debut album was in Sickness and in Health on ID Records. I don't think it's ID, maybe it's ID Records. 90% of it was first takes. They relocated to London to be closer to the wider music scene. And this led to what has been called the month of 1,000 bass players. Nevertheless, their second album, Kicked Out of Hell, went high on indie charts. And they just can't find themselves a bass player that wants to stick it out. More lineup changes and frequent use of LSD and alcohol by lead singer Phillips led to Graham and Luther leaving in '89. Billy moved to America, but Graham came back in 1992. The Day the Earth Spat Blood was an impromptu track written at the studio the day it was recorded. It has become an underground classic, and the album was titled Demented Are Go presents the Demon Teds. The Demon Teds. They're all demons. They signed with Fury Records in '91, and they put out their next LP, Orgasmic Nightmare. No, there are two words you don't often see paired. Huh? Orgasm and nightmare. Well, this guy's come up with some pretty interesting takes on stuff. They tour for about 2 years. There were shows in Japan that Sparky showed up naked to, and there was some outrageousness involving a rubber fish. The band broke up in '95 due to Sparky's deteriorating mental health. But they reformed to tour the west coast of the United States, and now there were sexual escapades on stage with a vacuum cleaner. I guess you gotta use your imagination. Halluciferation was the next album in 1999. in New Jersey, they played at a music venue where Phillips set the woods on fire. But the trouble began when he was cross-dressed at a shopping mall and pinched a girl's gluteus area, and she turned out to be 16, so he was arrested for molesting a minor. He was jailed with $60,000 bond, and the band could not afford that, so they went back to Wales without him. He spent a month in prison and paid a fine of $100. Phillips returned to England. A new album, Hellbilly Storm. On the tour, Phillips was detained by immigration agents at the airport and eventually sent back to England. The band survived, and no, they play in Europe. What will we do? How are we going to get our Sparky fix here in the good old US of A? We'll have to manage somehow. I gotta tell you, this is actually better than the Silver Shine. Check them out. Oh, thank you for being with me. Not all stories about bands have happy endings. Still, I wish them well. I'll be back with another show. We're going to have a look at Dead Vibrations from Stockholm, Sweden. Everybody take good care. Love you guys.